Welcome in, everyone. Today, we're jumping straight into a really fascinating project. We're unpacking the InfoGuide NG wiring guide for the Deye 6kW hybrid inverter. But I don't want you to just think of this as connecting some wires and tightening a few screws. Think of this explainer as your blueprint for building the actual central nervous system of your home's power. Honestly, if you get this right, everything else in your solar journey is going to run smoothly, safely, and efficiently. So let's dive right in. Right out of the gate, the source drops a massive piece of advice, and honestly, it is the absolute secret to a stress-free installation. The magic word here is pre-wiring. Before you ever try to lift that distribution box onto the wall, before you're, reaching awkwardly over your head or straining your back in some tiny utility closet, you do the heavy lifting on a workbench. Getting your safety devices, your breakers, and your routing organized before the box goes on the wall, it literally cuts your stress in half and practically guarantees a professional-grade install.
So here's our blueprint for today. 1. Anatomy of the box. 2. Harnessing the sun. 3. Grid and home connections. 4. Battery and grounding setup. And 5. Pro safety and installation.
Kicking things off with Section 1, Anatomy of the box, demystifying the components.
Okay, if you've ever stared into a distribution box and felt totally intimidated by the alphabet soup of acronyms, don't worry, we're going to break it down super simply. You really just need to understand two main players here. First up is the SPD, or Surge Protection Device. Think of the SPD as your system's personal bodyguard. Its entire job in life is to take the hit from sudden voltage spikes, so your expensive inverter doesn't have to. Next is the MTS, the Manual Transfer Switch. Consider this one the traffic cop. It dictates exactly where the power is flowing, whether that power is coming from your inverter or routing entirely around it directly from the utility grid.
And that brings us to the main goal of this explainer, beautifully captured by this quote from the source guide. We are basically creating a clear visual roadmap to organize all those DC and AC breakers, those SPD bodyguards, and that MTS traffic cop, all from the comfort of your workbench.
Moving right along to Section 2, Harnessing the Sun. Solar DC input wiring.
All right, time to wrangle that raw, unrefined power coming straight down from your roof. Now, what's really cool here is the precise pathway that power takes. In this specific Deye 6kW setup, the configuration uses 8 solar panels wired in series. So those positive and negative wires come down from the roof and go straight into a DC breaker. Sitting right next to that, connected in parallel, is your DC SPD, that bodyguard we talked about earlier. By wiring it in parallel, it just sits there watching the line, ready to shunt any massive voltage spikes completely away from your system. From there, the safe, breaker-protected output flows straight into the inverter's PV1 terminals. Nice, clean, and safe.
Section 3, Grid and home connections. AC grid and load integration.
So this is where your inverter basically shakes hands with the utility grid and your home's actual electrical load. We're dealing with AC power now. And just like the sun, the utility grid can be totally unpredictable. That's why symmetry in your distribution box is such a beautiful thing. The inverter-specific load output connects to a dedicated load breaker. Meanwhile, the raw utility grid connects to a totally separate grid breaker. And just like on our solar side, we need protection here too, right? So an AC SPD is wired in parallel with that grid input to safeguard against any weird external grid anomalies or overcurrents. Finally, the safe output from that grid breaker feeds right into the inverter's grid input. You're essentially building a walled garden of perfectly protected power.
But you gotta ask yourself, what happens if the inverter needs maintenance? Or heaven forbid, what if it fails? You obviously can't just leave your house in the dark. Well, this is exactly where our traffic cop from earlier steps in, the manual transfer switch, which gives us inverter mode versus bypass mode.
Check out this breakdown because it's pure gold if you're actually doing the wiring. Let's trace the path. When you switch the MTS up into inverter mode, it hooks your house up to terminals 4 and 8, pulling beautifully managed power straight from the inverter's load output. But, and here's the clever part, if you switch it down to bypass mode, it activates terminals 2 and 6 instead. This creates a parallel path that routes power directly from the utility grid, completely bypassing an offline inverter. Ultimately, terminals 1 and 5 serves the final output leads, sending power to your home's main breaker box. It's just a remarkably elegant safety net.
Section 4, Battery and grounding setup. Securing the core. We're locking down the core of the system now. We need to make sure the energy storage is connected, and above all else, make sure the whole rig is actually safe to operate. So connecting the battery is straightforward but absolutely critical.
You make a direct connection to the inverter's battery terminals. Oh, and don't forget the comms port for the battery management system, the BMS, so the inverter and battery can actually talk to each other. But here's a massive pro tip from the source. If your battery already has a built-in breaker, installing a separate molded case circuit breaker, or MCCB, in your box is completely redundant. Just skip it. Save that space and save your money for something else.
Now let's talk about grounding. You remember those SPDs, those bodyguards we keep hyping up? Well, they are 100% useless without proper grounding. The absolute key here is that both the AC and DC SPDs must be linked to a common grounding cable. This is what gives those dangerous voltage spikes a safe path straight into the earth. On top of that, a dedicated grounding wire needs to run from the inverter's chassis directly to the main grounding bus. Grounding isn't just a suggestion here, folks. It is the fundamental bedrock of your entire system's safety.
Finally, Section 5, Pro Safety and Installation, bringing you some DIY secrets from the field.
Okay, I love these tips. The source guide doesn't just hand you the theory. It shares some incredible DIY secrets from the field that separate a frustrating, messy job from a clean, professional masterpiece. Let's look at a few of these. First, while metal is technically the pro standard for the enclosure box, a plastic distribution box is way easier for DIYers to drill through. Next, and this is super specific, use PG11 cable glands for your entry and exit points. Not only does this make the setup waterproof, but it literally keeps pests, like lizards, from sneaking into the warm enclosure and frying your whole system. No way you want that. Lastly, the cable tie technique. When you stuff multiple thick wires into parallel breakers, they tend to spread apart on the rail, right? Wrapping a simple plastic cable tie around them acts as a stopper, keeping all those components perfectly and tightly aligned. Genius.
We also absolutely have to talk about wiring precision. The guide gives us 3 non-negotiable rules here. 1. Strip your wires precisely 10 to 12 millimeters. 2. Ensure a perfectly snug fit into the terminal with absolutely zero bare copper exposed outside the breaker. And 3. Perform a firm pull test on every single wire after you screw it down. Give it a yank. If it wiggles or pops out, it wasn't secure, and a loose wire is a massive fire hazard.
Oh, and a quick heads up before we wrap. The standard MC4 connectors that actually come included with the Deye inverter might be a solid pin type. This means they can't be crimped with just any standard tool. They require a highly specific solid crimping tool. The guide highly recommends making sure you have either the correct tool or standard compatible connectors on hand before you find yourself stuck and frustrated halfway through the job.
And that is the whole shebang. If you follow these steps, your central nervous system, your distribution box, is safely pre-wired, logically organized, and fully grounded, all done comfortably right there on your workbench. The bodyguards are in place, the traffic cop is ready to go. So the final question is, are you prepared to mount this box to the wall and actually connect up those solar panels? You've got the knowledge now, so go make it happen. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and hey, happy wiring!